That would be hilarious. Oh, Spider Pig, thanks for the follow. Alrighty, so next up, we have Shepard, who will be our first critique of the day. So he did send in a crew battle. So if you guys are watching this on YouTube, once again, I highly advise against sending in crew battles, just because they don't really tell you as much. This is a one-off interaction against people, and it's not like you're playing a set. You're only fighting them for like 3 lives, and that's really it. And there's like all these other external pressures that happen here if with crew battles themselves. So it's not a normal set environment, so don't send these in if you can avoid it. But if you have nothing else, then obviously, you know, feel free to. So yeah, last time that I saw Shepard, he did have a big issue of just like spamming projectiles and like moves to do it. Like a lot of really, really bad smash attacks. That was like the biggest thing. Like he'd throw it out very recklessly, and when he did it, he didn't really have anything to cover himself. So it was just like throwing out all the risk with like 0 reward, and like doing smash attacks at bad percentages too. So a lot of issues that were coming up with that. So we'll kind of see how he adjusts to this. Definitely fighting against Falcon, he's going to force you to play a lot more scared in general, just because like he can just jump over things really fast and like come and punish you. And his punishes will be very, very hard, especially after all the buffs that he's gotten too. So he is one of those characters that if you do give him room to breathe, he can kill you very easily, but you can control his neutral very well. Like, obviously you can control the air and the ground with can very easily. So it's very, very hard for him to get like a good approach on you. Basically whenever he gets a grab on you or like any hit on you, it's mostly because he danced around some form that you had and then got in. It's very telegraphed when he's going to come in and how he's going to come in. So as long as you haven't locked yourself to an animation as Duck Hunt, it's very, very easy to keep keeping him out the entire time. Yeah, no, that's for sure. That's the other thing about like crew battles. It's just like there's so many factors about them that are not accurate to what it's like to play in a set. And like if you don't know about like certain jank that a character has, like you can just get hit by it and die and not adapt to it. So I'll tell you to adapt to it, but you know, there's always a chance that if it was a best of 3 that you might have adapted to it by the next game. So it's just one of those things. So let's get into it. So yeah, he was at 2 stocks too. So that's the other thing. It's not like it's a full 3-on-3 in terms of like the amount of stocks that are there too. So he went a little bit early, but you know, nothing too crazy there. Also, yeah, the longer stages are better, so Pokemon Stadium is a very good stage to go to against Falcon for that reason. If you guys don't know, Pokemon Stadium is actually the longest stage that we have, but it's fairly close to the blast zones on the side, so that's why you can still die pretty early on this stage sometimes. So that was very bad. There was absolutely no reason for you to like jump in front of your gunman and approach him, and especially approach with Clay Pigeon. That's a sentence that shouldn't exist in terms of what you're doing in neutral. Because, like, you know, first of all, as you guys know, Clay Pigeon is not a neutral tool, it's a punish tool. So you only do Clay Pigeon when there's a guaranteed punish. And if you don't have that guaranteed punish and you move closer to your opponent when you do that, you're basically locking yourself out of defending yourself for 1 full second. And again, especially against a character like Captain Falcon, that gives him more than enough time to jump over and like get something like a Nair 1 or a Stomp or something like that. And you get a lot of damage off that. Or even like something like a Grab. Like he doesn't even have to go for something like super, super complicated to get something started there. And not only that, with like being center stage and being able to use the platforms for extensions, that could have been a lot of damage, but it doesn't look like the Falcon was ready for it. But yeah, good combo from Shepard right there. Yeah. So that Clay Pigeon wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. He at least was dashing away and like trying to catch him, like dashing towards him again after attacking. And as long as like Falcon dashed away, he would have had to immediately respond with a jump in order to catch that Clay Pigeon. So on Wi-Fi, the only way that Shepard probably would have gotten hit by that is if he read the Clay Pigeon. If he didn't read the Clay Pigeon, it would have been pretty hard for him to like get a reaction punish on him. If it's offline though, then yeah, it becomes much easier. I was just gonna say, just because of the Wi-Fi, just because of like it's on Wi-Fi, you can get away with Clay Pigeon a lot more than if it was offline. So offline, that would have been terrible. Wi-Fi, it's not the worst thing in the world, if that makes sense. Yeah, so there normally that clay pigeon would have canceled out that grab, but he did get behind him and grabbed him. So that's the reason why the clay pigeon didn't interrupt there. So yeah, like that. So when he had the gunman out and he did up smash there, that would have like caught him if he jumped over there, or if he rolled in. So by having that gunman there, he actually covered quite a lot. So even though like there wasn't really a reason to go for that up smash, if he happened to land there, he would have got him, and the gunman was covering him. So if you want to go for smash attacks, you should always have like a plan for it to be covered, or it should just be a guaranteed punish. And like right there, that was actually a pretty bad F smash, because that F smash landed right where that can was. So basically he was just covering the same thing twice. So that was kind of a waste, because if he landed that F smash, the can would have canceled out all the knockback and he wouldn't have died. Yeah, I honestly don't know why he went for the up tilt there. Like, I'm assuming he meant to do like a run up smash, which at this percentage it would have killed him. So that kind of was guaranteed. It was just like a little late reaction on his part. But he also could have like hit him with can because it was pinging that way, done double jump up air, and that would have killed as well. So he had a couple of routes there. So this is one thing that's always really good to do against like any fast characters. If you can get gunmen set up in the air or on the ground, and as long as your opponent has to hit it, it actually does freeze them for a little bit. So because he did Falcon kick and it hit the gunman, it actually did give him enough time to throw a shield up and like defend himself. Yeah, not an optimal ledge trap, but like he at least was able to read the roll with the F smash. Yeah, kind of had like the right idea to like start sharking with the up airs there, but overall, he kind of places up airs in very, very bad spots, just kind of not areas where it would naturally pressure him. And like when he clearly missed like the juggle situations, he didn't go back to reset. He kept trying to being on top of him. But if both characters are next to each other and like one isn't locked into one and you're not like juggling them, then if they're both like side by side, Falcon's probably going to win the boxing game. So there's not really a reason to do that. Again, that was a really bad clay pigeon. Like, he wasn't even, like, remotely to the side of him. He was just, like, right under him, and he decided to throw it. That was just bad timing. So I don't know if that was a misinput. But given the way that he's been using clay pigeon, I probably don't think it was. Yeah, good thing he didn't try to punish that. That is safe on shield. Let me get the exact frame data. Oof. Yeah, up smash is -7 on shield, so don't bother trying to punish that. You're just going to whiff because it pushes you back, and then he can just like punish you with something harder, because whiff grabs are some of the easiest things to punish in this game, and you can punish them. They're among the hardest things that you can punish as well. Yeah, good high recovery there. Didn't challenge the Falcon recovery. A little bit late on his can reaction though. So I'm definitely seeing an issue with Shepard right now. It's like he's actually approaching Falcon, and there's literally no reason for him to do that. Falcon can wall you out pretty well with back airs, or just like kind of whiff punish you coming in. So he was actually like leading himself to just lose his stock right there. And if he kept back, like Falcon was going to approach, and that would have made it very, very easy for him to just intercept with his own moves. So he needs to stop approaching in situations like this. Wow, that was actually a really good pickup by Shepard there. He actually had like the awareness to know that he's gonna get hit by the can, and then he covered it with like F tilt on, reverse F tilt on the platform. That was pretty good. But yeah, overall just played solid enough, and this Falcon just felt really, really uncomfortable punishing him. So he was able to get away with way more than he should have. Like easily, this Falcon could have like taken 2 stocks off of him, like no question about it. But he was too unfamiliar with the matchup. So now the next one is at 101. So he fights a Metaknight. So Metaknight's a very easy matchup to do. Basically, this is Shield Can the character. So what you do is you basically... So you can throw out a can at the beginning of this stage just because you guys are far enough apart. But all you want to do is just like camp on top of Can, because Metaknight has no approach against that that's safe. Like if he does anything while you shield over Can, he will get punished for it. And you get a lot of openings off of that. And he's mostly going to just like try to approach you with dash attack and dash grab, and that's really it. So that's all you're looking out for. Obviously don't throw out Clay Pigeon, just because like it's very easy for him to jump over that and like get a punish on you. And if he does get you off stage or juggled, he can keep you juggled and like edge guard you very, very easily. So those are situations that you want to avoid. So his punish game on Duck Hunt's actually pretty good. The good thing is like you can out of a lot of his things, like up B. Sometimes you can actually like can out of like the second hit happening, so that way you won't die. And then like if you are off stage, you can out of his edge guard, since it's not a combo, it's kind of a string that he does to you off stage. So there's a lot of ways that you can live and like mitigate how early he can kill you. But regardless, he's still very good at pressuring Duck Hunt and killing him once he does get that hit in. So basically, stay diligent. Don't be dumb with when you throw out projectiles. If Metaknight is center stage and you're at the ledge, you can't throw out a projectile safely. You need to like wait for him to come toward you, get that hit, because like you will outrange him with fair. And then once you like hit him and throw him away, then you can set up again. But you do need to set up. You always need to focus on setting up whenever you have the ability to. So let's see what happens. Gunman is like the last thing you should be setting up with. Like Gunman you set up once you have Can out, just because if you remember me saying, if the opponent has to hit the Gunman, it puts them in hit stun, and it doesn't give you time to react and punish them. Yeah, you can. So depending on the DI you do after the up B, like if you hold in or you hold away, that will influence if they can hit you as well. But keep in mind, remember, so the DI is one thing that you can do, so that's something you always have. But in terms of the Can, like if your Can's on stage and you get hit by up B, then you can't Can out of it. Yeah, don't do that to Tornado. Just shield the Tornado. Now now you can Clay Pigeon the rapid jabs, but yeah, don't do it to the Tornado. The main reason why I say don't do it toward the Tornado is like the Tornado's pretty mobile, so he can get around it fairly easily. Yeah, see, like if you saw like you were right here, he was right here, and you were right there, and he just immediately came up to you. Like, so there, you can't throw a projectile safely during those instances. So a lot of the time, it's you're going to just be kind of like shielding in those instances, or you're trying to time a roll well. The other thing too I should mention is that jumping's not really a bad thing either, because like he doesn't really have the best like aerial punishes in front of him. Like he can get like a fair, so if you're center stage, it's not too bad. Obviously if he gets you off stage, not an area you want to be. And then if you're above him, then he's got up air. But like if you're center stage, being horizontal to him is not the worst thing in the air. It's just if he's under you, that's when he can get a little scary. Okay, so that was a huge mistake. If you see him do like a drill and like miss you, that you can Clay Pigeon, because he needs to land after that, and that's a pretty guaranteed punish. That F smash is way too slow to do. Like if you had Pingus, then you could have done like up smash, but like no, F smash, there was no world where that F smash was going to connect. That was way too slow of a punish. Okay, so that gunman drop actually was not a bad idea. So something that you can do, obviously you can move in front of or behind the gunman as you're throwing it out. So if he started rapid jabbing that gunman as you're moving behind him, it basically locks him into that attack longer. So you would actually have more time to punish him after that rapid jab is done. So you probably could have gotten a smash attack off of that. Just depending on like how long he was holding the jab for. As the other thing too is that because Metaknight is light, Can will kill him before it kills you. So that's something that you can always abuse against him. That was terrible. I don't know why you decided to just jump right next to him and like not challenge him, but like at that moment, like when you're trying to recover, don't instinctually gravitate towards your opponent, because that makes it easier for them to hit you. What you want to do is you want to move away from them and make it so they can't hit you. That's the big key thing about recovery. If they can hit you, they can hit you off stage. If they can't hit you, they can't do anything else to you. So focus on staying away from them more than going back towards them. Like that's why like when you're recovering, sometimes you want to jump away from them and then go in. So that way you avoid their attack, and then they need to go back to ledge before they can edge guard you again. Missed the tech, yeah. Wi-Fi, so we'll forgive that. See, so that's a huge mistake right there. So you want to keep Can on stage like the entire time. You don't really want to blow it up because that's what forces Metaknight to not approach you on the ground. He can't really approach you if Can's on the ground, and by getting rid of the Can, that just makes it easy for him to do things on the ground again. You want to control that, and you want to stop him from doing things on the ground, because most of the time if you have Can set up, he's going to jump over it or he's going to try to hit it, and both of those things make it really easy for you to just like go back and like, you know, if he hits towards you, you can hit it back at him, or you can shield on top of the Can, so that way he just physically cannot approach you safely. If you grab, he'll get hit by Can. If he tries to hit it, then he's going to get blown up. So those are the things that you want to focus on. See, again, like if you didn't throw out that clay pigeon, like first of all, if you threw out that clay pigeon and he didn't jab, he could have just dash attacked you and done a lot of damage. But since he's spamming jab like quite a lot, like this is a pretty normal move that he's doing, you could instinctually throw out clay pigeon to punish all of those jabs. But because you keep wasting it as a resource, you aren't really able to do that. I don't know what that double grab was about. Also, you could have pinged that Can, like after he did that hit, you could have pinged that Can to stop him from getting that grab on you. Like you don't really use Can to stop him. Like you always do Can like after he's already gotten to you. You should be doing it to prevent him from getting to you. See, like, okay, so that's a good clay pigeon right there. Because, like, if you're trying to make it so that, oh, I want you to avoid this clay pigeon, so that way when you get onto me, then you get punished by Can. Because you could have shielded. You could have shielded before he could have hit you. That's smart. And if he gets hit by clay pigeon, then you actually, like, in this position right here, you could kill him. You just have to do a second clay pigeon and back air him at the ledge, but it doesn't look like you have the positioning for that. Yeah, so yeah, if you did double clay pigeon and then back air, he would have died. But it is Wi-Fi a little hard to do. See, huge mistake right there. Like, I don't know why you're trying to hit the Can. Because, like, if you just did shield right there, that Nair would have gotten punished. He probably would have been launched behind you, too. And you could have double jump up air to kill him or double jump back air to kill him, depending on how he DI'd that. So, like, you basically gave up the kill right there, and now he might kill you because you decided to hit the Can away right there. Like, you don't... It seems like you're not aware of what shield Can is. Or if you do, you just, like, don't think about using it. Where, like, when you're playing a lot of these rushdown matchups, like, that's pretty much all you want to go for. No, see, like, right there, what was that? What was that? All you gotta do is hold shield there, and if he decides to approach you at all, he loses. That's all you have to do there. Where, like, now he has a pretty clear way to get to you. The good thing is, like, he jumped, and he's a lot slower in the air, so now he physically cannot approach you. And that gunman, as long as you, like, go to the very, very ledge, as long as he throws out an attack, you will be able to, like, catch him with down smash. And him hitting the gunman will make it very easy to hit him. Yeah, see, like, right there, if he went, like, to the exact ledge, the second he did that nair on that gunman, you could have down smashed him, man. You would have killed him. Yeah. So there you threw Can way too far away. No idea what that grab was. Like, Metaknight is not a character you're really going to be grabbing much, because, like, he doesn't really have too many unsafe moves unless, like, he's landing on you with an aerial. So, like, get out of the habit of trying to shield grab this character. Like, if he does, like, let me look at his, aerials real quick, because I know they're not, like, except for, like, down air, they're not remotely safe on shield. Let's see. At least they shouldn't be. I might be wrong. Okay, actually, neutral air is ridiculously safe on shield. That's -4. Forward air is -8, so most likely probably not going to be safe. Back air is -8, -9, so probably not going to be safe. And then there's -6. The big thing with neutral air, though, is, like, most of the time he's going to be hitting it on the top of your shield, and when he does that, you should be able to grab them. Just because it's like 3 or 4 frames to go from the top of your shield to the bottom of your shield. So that's going to be the main reason why you grab it. But if he does land it perfectly, then yeah, you're not going to be able to grab that. Again, like, he was right next to you in the air, And like that gunman was gonna do nothing for you. Like he could have just that was just like you basically gave him a free punish, but he missed. And right there too, it's like you didn't go for shield can, and that would have punished him right there. Yeah, he's not very good at edge guarding. that should have been a stock. Yeah, he actually dodged you like just in the nick of time right there. Again, that was a bad... So another thing too, 147, Clay Pigeon's useless at this time. You cannot get any combos on Metaknight. And even if he DIs in, which is like the only way you could possibly get a combo, he might, because he's Metaknight, he might actually be too light at this moment. But yeah, the general rule is like once your opponent's like around like 145, Clay Pigeon no longer combos. Oh my god, you almost got cheesed there. Again, like you're not paying attention to where he is. Like there's no world where that Clay Pigeon connects. Like make sure you're watching your opponent and you're knowing what you're doing. And also he was way too close for that's never gonna work. Get up Clay Pigeon is not a strategy that's like ever gonna work. Like if you're fighting a heavy, sure. Heavy characters you can get up Clay Pigeon because like they can't really get around it. And like not too many heavies really want to be in the air. The only heavy that's going to be in the air and that you wouldn't want to do get up Clay Pigeon against is like K-Rool. Because K-Rool can just armor you and he's going to probably hit you with an aerial. Like other heavies like DK Bowser, they're probably not going to do that. Again, see like he was like half a stage away from you, so he has that as an automatic burst option. So like you need to like you just really need to focus on like throwing out your cans. You're only throwing out gunmen at moments like when you for sure have it set up. And like you probably would have thrown out Clay Pigeon here at the same time. Like you need to like beat out your system. When you're fighting a rushdown character, the only time you're throwing out Clay Pigeon is if there's a guaranteed punish that you're getting. And gunmen you're only throwing out like after you've set them like pretty far and then you can control the ground with it. Not half stage. Half stage is not an acceptable range to throw out gunmen at. Okay, good. You didn't try to punish that. F smash is safe on shield. That's one that you never challenged. Okay, good that you jumped from there. See, like, okay, after that can hit, then now that would have made sense to like jump back and throw out gunman because then he can't land, and if he hits the gunman, then that makes it very easy for you to punish him, and then you throw out can afterwards. I have no idea why he went for that F smash. That was the most unconfirmed thing in the entire world. And like if he legitimately all he had to do was not be scared and you would have died. Like he could have just F smashed you and you lost the game there. Like there's no reason for you to play this risky at all when you have can there. And like he will die to can. It's not like he won't die to can. Again, like he's doing the same thing as you and he's not watching you, where you up being right there, he could have just like charged up smash and like killed you there. Again, like I have no idea why you up smash there. Like there's no world where that up smash connects when he's over here. Even if he rolled, like I think his roll isn't far enough to connect that far. And it's not like you really set up the roll from that can either. Again, that would have traded against your favor there. And like right there, why did you F tilt him? That can was already pinking his direction. Like you're not thinking that like your duck is a hurt box. You can't hit can right on top of them, especially at this percentage. If you blow up after like once you're at 150 and you blow up, you're gone. Like you can only take one more can hit, and then you basically have given up the ability to save yourself with can or to self detonate. See, again, like you gambled. All you had to do was hold shield and he would have lost. If he DI'd that bad, he would have died. Oh, well, wait, you actually lived. I guess it was because it was a full screen thing. That kills? Okay, I didn't know that. But yeah, you're a degenerate gambler and that's why you died. Like, remember, whenever you're throwing out like just random smash attacks, like unless like you have like a guaranteed opening on them, all you're doing is rolling the dice every single time. And especially against a character like Metaknight, like the odds are like 1 to 9 that it's going to work. unless it's like, you know, you have a guaranteed open. Like they committed to an attack against you, or they committed to an air dodge. Like, okay, that's when that's in your favor. But like randomly with no setup to have you covered at all, that's just not going to do it. Like, all you had to do over here was like, if you literally just played the shield can game, and like you decided not to throw out smash attacks or clay pigeon, there was no reason for you to lose this at all. It's not that you play like even like a calculated risky, like you're just throwing out these things randomly because they feel cool. Like, yeah, it is risky. It's risky with zero reward. That's kind of the issue. The one thing that I will say at the very least about the smash attacks that you're doing is you're generally throwing them out when if you're in the right position, at least he will die. So at least you're throwing them out with that in respect. But at the same time, you're not throwing them out in any position where they're going to realistically connect and kill him. Certain smash attacks you did, like you had a can covering you, or you had gunmen covering you. Those are fine. That's perfectly okay. It's like, okay, there's no real risk here, and if he some reason falls into this, okay, I win. But other times too, you're throwing can and the smash attack at the same exact place, so you're not covering two different things. You're covering the same thing, and you're nullifying your whole reason for going for that smash attack too. So you even have to think about things like that. And please, for the love of God, learn to use shield can. that will save you a great big headache whenever you're fighting like any of these rushdown characters. Like, legitimately, if this Metaknight understood the openings he had, like, there's no reason you should have like gone. This game should have not even been remotely close. Yeah, like there needs to be a why for you to do it. Yeah. Like, shield can is, like, one of the reasons why he has the most broken, oppressive neutral against him, like, in the game. And, like, that applies to both Metaknight and Falcon, just because they don't have an answer to it. They legitimately have to wait for can to blow up, and that's all they can do. The other thing, too, is, like, first of all, get used to using shield can, because, like, that will not only force you to play safer, but against rushdown characters, like, once you realize what it can do, it will like greatly expand your mind for what you can do in neutral. And the other thing too, at least I noticed this against Metaknight, remember you can up tilt your can to chase them in the air for juggles and not put yourself at risk when you're going for up airs there. Just think about that as a move to utilize in the future, and I think it'll help you out quite a bit in your advantage state. Because there's a couple of things that aren't bad. Like, technically speaking, I don't think your execution's too bad. I think you got like at least but if you landed clay pigeon, I think you always at least got a combo off of it. And then your combos themselves weren't too bad either. So you at least understand how to use the moves in that respect. You at least understand when you need to escape danger on stage. On stage, your escape danger is not too bad. Recovery, you have a lot of really bad choices. But at least if you're like doing uppy and can, they're not the worst. But the opponents that you're playing against aren't forcing you to be better. And unfortunately, you need people that are going to edgeguard you better to like really ingrain to you how to recover better. So, you know, I can point out these recoveries are bad, but if these people aren't going to punish it, then it's going to be very hard to tell you like what you could have done better if they aren't going to punish you. So that's kind of hard for me to comment on just off of this, but you do need to improve your recovery. Technically speaking, your recovery isn't bad in terms of like how you use can and how you use your up B, but you need to like place them better. And I can only really point that out when you fight better opponents. But yeah, were there any questions that you had that you didn't know about these matchups or like anything Duck Hunt related at all? Yeah. That's the thing. Like when you're playing like on Elite Smash, you're probably not going to encounter good people that are going to punish you for doing all these things. It's like once you punish these people that like don't let you get away with like just random BS, like that's when you understand like you just need to play this way. Like at a certain point, like just none of this will fly. Like you will immediately die for doing these things. And you're just not abusing what's good about Duck Hunt too. Also, while he is answering these questions, or if he is going to ask a question, don't forget, if you guys do want to support the channel, you can always do that by following the channel so you know when we go out. Choose up tilt canter pressure. Well, basically, after you do like those up air juggles, or like you hit him with up air, like he's at like a pretty high percent, like you just got him juggled, that's when you can up tilt can. And remember, it will ping behind you. So if you're facing to the left and you up tilt can will ping towards the right. And if you're facing to the right and you up tilt can will ping towards the left. So keep that in mind when you're hitting it. But yeah, basically it's just another way to keep them pressured in the air. And that way, like, you can ping can to cover this way. So that way they might want to go left and you cover that side with duck hunt. That's the best way to think about it. When you up tilt can, you cover one area of the stage and you cover the other areas of the stage with duck hunt. So you theoretically can cover the entire stage with like the can and duck hunt. That's the way that you always want to think about it. Like, you want to use can as a way to control area to force your opponent to go somewhere else. So you can cover as much of the stage as possible. And that's what makes duck hunt annoying to fight. That's the thing. Like, let's see, is my game still on? Yeah, it is. So let me do this real quick. So let me. Yeah, so just to get a very quick visual actually, yeah, training mode would be fine. And then we'll go more. I think that he's just big enough to cover that. Yeah, I think actually the grid's gonna be pretty good. Oh yeah, oh my god, yeah, your Ganondorf would be so good to to help instill this stuff into people. So no, I want him to jump, and that's it. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this. So we're gonna do this. So now okay. So let's say I was having Marth juggled here, and let's say he was like, if you see where that 5 is, go 2 to the right of that. So from there, from like 6, like just like each unit from here, from like 6 all the way to the 5 on the bottom, I basically have that entire range covered with can. And from everything behind the can, I can cover all of that with duck hunt. So from there, it makes it a lot harder for him to land there, just because you're covering so much of his landing opportunities with like can, and you can cover everything else behind the can with duck hunt. That's kind of the gist of the way that you want to control it. So, you know, here I can immediately do that. If he double jumped over the can, then I've got up air to shark him. And then if he decided to go over there, then he's got that. And let me throw the can over here. So yeah, like now, let's say that he, like Marth, like somehow just got behind this can. So like, you know, he's following with the can now. So now as duck hunt, basically what I can do is like, let's say, oh, I know he's going to come down with like a fair or something. I can do like my pivot grab as he's landing and hopefully catch him. There was like a little bit too fast. But and then there. And then I can throw him to the can, and that's a free combo there, and then do that too. So remember, like, even if you have, like, the can behind him, another thing that you can do is, like, you can always combo into it, and then get, like, combos like that. So not only are you using the can to cover, but remember that if you can always hit your opponent back into the can to get, like, an extended combo off of that too. So you just think about that. First and foremost, your can should be used for covering neutral options and to cover as many landing options as possible. And then from there, if you can think about ways to like extend combos off of it, then, you know, by all means do that to like improve your punish game. Oreo pancakes? That sounds really good. But all right, there we go.